Young and the Restless next week. Sharon falls apart and Kyle's ego explodes. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. In the upcoming week of The Young and the Restless, viewers can expect emotional turmoil and power plays to take center stage. Sharon Newman, portrayed by Sharon Case, finds herself spiraling mentally. She wakes up in disarray, so she questions her own reality. Kyle Abbott, played by Michael Mueller, faces accusations of ego-driven decisions. And Summer Newman, played by Allison Lanier, struggles with feelings of professional insecurity and jealousy. Meanwhile, Victor Newman, brought to life by Eric Braeden, continues his manipulative games. And he gives his son Adam Newman, portrayed by Mark Grossman, control of Newman Media. But this move doesn't go unnoticed by the rest of the Newman family on Young and the Restless. Particularly Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinel, and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott. They voice their concerns and displeasure about Victor's decision on the CBS opera. As the week progresses, tensions continue to rise, and Audra Charles, portrayed by Zalika Silver, becomes more entangled in the professional and personal drama. The Newman family has apprehension about the future, and Sharon's deteriorating mental health promise a week filled with suspense, intrigue, and high-stakes drama. Get all your daily Young and the Restless spoilers and news here at, and stay tuned for updates on your favorite characters' fates. The Young and the Restless has always delivered some of the juiciest drama, pushing its characters to the brink of emotional collapse, revealing hidden truths, and turning personal battles into family-wide conflicts. But next week, Genoa City is about to see two of its most beloved and fiery characters experience turning points that will have ripple effects throughout the town. Sharon Newman, typically the heart of the community, is about to fall apart, and the fallout from this emotional breakdown will leave the residents reeling. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott, a man who's never been shy about his confidence, will see his ego take a hit that may cause him to rethink everything he stands for. This week's spoilers promise to delve deep into the vulnerabilities of Sharon and Kyle, revealing layers of their personalities that viewers have never seen before. As Sharon deals with overwhelming emotional strain and Kyle's pride is bruised beyond repair, fans can expect shocking turns, raw emotions, and the kind of drama that keeps The Young and the Restless on top of the daytime soap opera game. Let's break down what's coming next week in Genoa City, where the stakes are higher than ever. Sharon's emotional breakdown. The weight of it all. Sharon Newman has always been the emotional glue holding together the various factions of Genoa City. From her rocky marriages to Nick and Dylan, to her devotion to her children, Sharon has always been seen as the woman who could face almost anything with grace and resilience. But as anyone who has ever dealt with personal loss, trauma, or life-altering change can understand, there comes a breaking point where the weight of it all becomes too much to carry. Next week, Sharon will begin to unravel emotionally, and it's a sight that will leave viewers heartbroken and stunned. It starts with Sharon's growing concerns about her health. She has always been a strong, independent woman, but when a recent set of health issues threatens to undermine her strength, Sharon finds herself spiraling. The fear and uncertainty she feels about her future create a perfect storm, causing her to distance herself from the people who love her most. As Sharon faces what seems like a devastating diagnosis, her emotional state begins to deteriorate. The last thing she wants is to burden her loved ones, but the walls are closing in. She begins to withdraw from those who have been her pillars of support, particularly Ray. Her husband, always there to protect and care for her, finds himself at a loss as Sharon becomes more distant and shuts down emotionally. Ray's efforts to be there for her are met with resistance, and Sharon's inability to open up creates tension between them that neither of them expected. Sharon's struggle is not just physical, it's psychological. Her past battles with depression, anxiety, and self-doubt resurface, intensifying her emotional fragility. Despite her desire to remain strong, Sharon can't keep her feelings buried any longer. Her facade cracks, and viewers will witness an emotional collapse as Sharon confronts the true depths of her fears. As she unravels before our eyes, Sharon will have to come to terms with her darkest thoughts and the overwhelming sense of vulnerability she's been fighting to keep hidden. The emotional toll of Sharon's breakdown is her family questioning how to support her through this tumultuous time. Ray's love and dedication will be put to the test as he watches his wife struggle with her own insecurities and fears. Can he get through to her before it's too late, or will Sharon continue to push him away, creating an emotional divide that will be hard to mend? Kyle's ego explosion, a hard hit to his pride. On the other side of Genoa City, Kyle Abbott is about to face a significant crisis that will rock his confidence to its core. Kyle has always carried himself with a certain sense of entitlement, his ego inflated by his position in the Abbott family and the success of Jebot. While he may come off as charming and well put together, there's no denying that Kyle's pride is one of his most defining traits, and also one of his greatest weaknesses. Next week, Kyle's ego is about to take a major hit. The beginning of the week will see him in the midst of a major power struggle at Jebot, as tensions rise within the Abbott family. With so many powerful personalities involved, Kyle's decisions are going to come under scrutiny. As his ambitions push him further into the business world, his ego leads him to make bold moves that he believes will secure his future at the helm of Jebot. However, his brashness and sense of entitlement are about to backfire in a big way. In a shocking turn of events, Kyle will face a dramatic fallout after his latest business move goes south. He makes a decision that he thinks will further solidify his position, but instead, it leads to a series of catastrophic consequences that he was not prepared for. His plan fails, and Kyle finds himself in a precarious situation, facing a loss of credibility with both his family and colleagues. His reputation, which he's carefully built on charm and arrogance, begins to crumble, and the repercussions of his failed actions echo throughout the Abbott family. As the fallout from his misstep reverberates, Kyle's ego is bruised beyond recognition. The man who once walked around Genoa City with an air of invincibility will now find himself humbled, questioning his choices, and whether he's really cut out for the pressures of running Jebot. His usual self-assurance falters, and for the first time in a long time, Kyle is forced to confront his vulnerability. It's a tough pill to swallow for Kyle, and viewers will witness his inner struggle as he grapples with the truth of his failure. The consequences of his actions will not only impact his professional life, but also his personal relationships. His family, especially his father Jack, will have no choice but to intervene. Jack, who has always been a mentor to Kyle, may be forced to step in and offer guidance in a way that challenges Kyle's independence and self-sufficiency. But will Kyle be receptive, or will his bruised ego make him more determined to prove that he can rise above the failure on his own? Sharon and Kyle, two sides of a coin. While Sharon and Kyle are facing completely different personal crises, their storylines intersect in one important way. They are both grappling with the complexities of their own self-image. Sharon's breakdown is tied to her fear of losing control and her identity as a strong, supportive woman. Her emotional collapse forces her to confront the fragility of her existence, something she's rarely had to do before. On the other hand, Kyle's crisis is centered around his inability to face failure. His inflated ego crumbles when his plans fall apart, and he's forced to face the truth that he may not be the business mogul he always thought he was. Both Sharon and Kyle's journeys this week highlight the internal battles that come with personal growth and self-acceptance. Sharon's story is about vulnerability and the challenge of leaning on others for help, while Kyle's story is about pride and the struggle to rebuild after a fall from grace. There will be moments next week where these two characters may cross paths, each carrying their own emotional baggage. Could their experiences with failure and self-doubt lead them to find unexpected common ground? While it's unlikely that Sharon's breakdown will have any direct effect on Kyle's business issues, their personal struggles may offer them the opportunity to provide comfort to one another if they're both willing to be open and vulnerable. Family tensions. Jack, Ray, and others weigh in. As Sharon spirals and Kyle crumbles, the ripple effects will be felt by their respective families. Jack Abbott, always the guiding hand in the Abbott family, will find himself at odds with Kyle as he tries to pick up the pieces of his son's latest mess. Jack has always been a pillar of support for Kyle, but this week he will be forced to make some difficult decisions about how to guide his son toward redemption. Will Jack offer Kyle the tough love he needs, or will he enable him to continue down the path of arrogance and self-destruction? Ray's role in Sharon's story is crucial. As Sharon's emotional breakdown continues, Ray will be forced to navigate the complexities of supporting his wife without suffocating her. Their relationship has always been solid, but Sharon's refusal to open up will create a divide that Ray may not be able to bridge without sacrificing his own emotional well-being. Can their marriage survive this period of strain, or will it become the latest casualty in a long line of personal challenges for Sharon? The road ahead: healing, redemption, and growth. The fallout from Sharon's emotional collapse and Kyle's business failure will set the stage for some powerful transformations over the coming weeks. Sharon's health and emotional state will continue to be a point of tension, and the strain on her relationships with Ray and her children will intensify as she struggles to open up. Meanwhile, Kyle's ego may never fully recover from the blow, but it's clear that he will be on a path to redemption as he attempts to rebuild his reputation. As Genoa City watches Sharon and Kyle face their personal demons, the rest of the town will be keeping a close eye on how these two characters respond to the challenges ahead. Will Sharon find the strength to ask for help, or will she continue to hide her pain? Will Kyle learn from his mistakes, or will his pride keep him from making the necessary changes to move forward? One thing is certain: The Young and the Restless is about to dive deep into the emotional journeys of two characters who have been staples of the show for years. With Sharon's vulnerability and Kyle's bruised ego, viewers can expect some of the most intense, heartbreaking, and redemptive moments yet. This article explores the early spoilers for the upcoming week on The Young and the Restless, focusing on the emotional breakdown of Sharon Newman and the explosive downfall of Kyle Abbott's ego. Both characters will face significant challenges that will test their strength, relationships, and personal growth, making this a pivotal week in Genoa City.